All right, so now what everyone wants to see, the gun I carry with me every single day. Recently, I've been getting a lot of requests from you guys to do an everyday carry or concealed carry video to show you what I carry every single day. And there are a lot of these videos on YouTube. Of course, it'll be unique because I'm my own person, I carry my own stuff, but also because I actually carry every single day. For the past 6 years, unless I literally could not carry a firearm on me, like going on an airplane, I carry with me every single day.
Excuse me, sir. You're going to have to remove your weapons.
I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are part of my religion.
I'm sorry, sir. You can't board a commercial flight with your weapons.
And that's a lot different than a lot of these people who post these concealed carry setups that claim they carry every single day, and then when you actually try it yourself, you realize it's uncomfortable and it's not practical. That's because they don't actually carry it every single day. They throw as much stuff in there to look as cool as possible, to make the coolest YouTube video, but it's not practical. So this is a practical EDC, what I carry every single day. So I'm not going to start with the gun. I know everyone wants to see the gun. What gun do you carry every single day? But I don't use my gun every single day. Yeah, I carry it all the time, but what do I actually use every single day? Well, one of the things that I pull out of my pocket almost daily is this flashlight, the Nitecore EDC 29. Now, I previously did a video on the EDC 27, and it was a pretty positive video. I really liked it, but this is definitely an improvement, and I think the best so far that I've seen from Nitecore, and I've been carrying this for a few years, and it's held up really, really well. So it has a physical switch on the side to lock it out. So if the switch is engaged, no buttons will work on it. You'll get no light output, so you're not accidentally activating this in your pocket. But if you flip the switch down, then it's game on. And this has an admin mode where I can cycle through some lights. I have a 15 lumen mode where it's a nice low output. I can cycle up then to 100 lumens, then to 400, then I can go all the way to 1200 lumens. This is quite the output. Right now, this is showing me this will run on what is not even a fully charged battery on an hour and a half. It has a little display screen right here where it actually says what the output is and what your runtime is, which is pretty cool. But the thing is, that's not even the highest output. That's just the administrative modes. I can go to a super high output mode, which is this big button on the back here, which is harder to press. And I press this, and it goes right to a 3000 lumen throw mode. This thing has crazy lumens, crazy candela, actually a really good hotspot too, but it will step down eventually, and you can see that little bar there where it's recharging. It can only do that output for a limited time, which is why it's great for EDC when I want to really blind someone temporarily, but it's not great for duty use where you have to possibly constantly be using your flashlight. Yeah, it does have this 1200 lumen mode, which will run for quite a while, but this does not have the output of that 3000 lumen mode. I'd much rather have a handheld light like a mod light or a Surefire or something like that. But this is super handy. I use this all the time, whether I'm working on a car, whether I drop something on the ground I need to find, whether I go in my garage and I'm too lazy to turn the light on. This is a very useful tool, and everyone should be carrying a handheld light. The next thing I carry with me every single day is a tourniquet. No matter where I am, I always have a tourniquet. In fact, no matter where I've been, I've never had an issue bringing either of these two with me. I've been on airplanes, been in federal buildings with metal detectors. Everywhere I've been, no one's ever stopped me from carrying a flashlight or a tourniquet. And this tourniquet is super important to have on you. I think there's no reason with modern tourniquet technology like the Snake Staff Systems tourniquets that are super slim, super small, super low profile, easy to throw in a pocket, there's no reason not to have at least one on you. So if you get in a situation where someone is injured, whether it's a shooting or it's just an accident and someone is having some major arterial bleeding from one of their limbs, this tourniquet could save your life or someone else's, so you should carry it with you every single day. The next thing I carry with me every single day, something I pretty much always have on me as well, is a knife.
Got your knife on you, boss?
Rule number 9, never go anywhere without a knife.
This is the Outdoor Edge Razor VX2. There's tons of different models out there, but this is from Outdoor Edge, and this is the knife brand that I have gone to for pretty much anything, whether it's duty, concealed carry, a utility knife. This is the best knife out there, and I'll tell you why. One, it's the price. This is a very affordable knife. This is not crazy in price. Some of those knives, some knives I've even used in the past, were really nice, but not very affordable. The next thing is their blades. These blades, it might look a little weird here, like this layered section. Well, that's because this blade is removable. I can remove this blade and I can just replace it. This gets dull, throw it away, get a new one. I don't need to sharpen it. I don't need to send my knife out to get worked on. I just get a new blade, and I take that new blade and I pop that in, and now I'm good to go. I get a nick in it, it cracks, it breaks, whatever, just swap the blade out. And the blade replacements are also very affordable. So I think it's super useful to have a knife with you every single day. I carry one with me whenever I can. And the Outdoor Edge knives, I think, are not only very good for the price, but very unique in the fact you can swap those blades out. Another thing I carry with me pretty much anywhere I go, even if it is somewhere I can't carry a knife, is a wallet, right? I think everyone carries a wallet or some sort of money and card carrying device everywhere they go. Some people carry the ones on their phones, but I like to have it separate from my phone. So if God forbid I lose my phone or lose my wallet, I still have the tap to pay on my phone, or I still have my physical cards and cash in my wallet. This wallet is the Haley Incog wallet, so it has a pretty cool feature. Otherwise, it's just a nylon wallet, bifold. It's pretty standard, pretty simple. But what it has is this guy right in here. This black elastic segment is to hold this little push dagger. This is a polymer G10 push dagger, meaning it can get into those non-permissive environments. And it's also just a good tool to have in my pocket. So instead of carrying a knife IWB, which I think is generally not super likely to be needed, but could happen, I can instead reach my pocket and pull this thing out if I do need something for up close and personal. But what's really great is if I'm going out and about and I end up in one of these non-permissive environments and I was not prepared for it, whatever reason where I'm going has metal detectors and there's no way for me to get a true self-defense tool inside that building, well, this will get through pretty much every single time. I don't recommend you take it on a plane though, don't do that. But if you go somewhere that you're not breaking the law, but it just says, hey, we don't want you to have any weapons in there, well, this is going to get you through that all the time, and it's going to be something you can have on you. So worst case, you need some way to defend yourself more than just your fists, you do have this nice little push dagger. The last thing before we get to the gun are sunglasses. I carry sunglasses with me every single day, and I think you should too. I think they're super useful to have. One, in a way, it's like having eye protection with you all the time. You throw these things on, and where you go, your eyeballs are protected. But the bigger reason I carry these is not to protect myself from flying debris, but from the sun itself. Because I don't know about you, when I go outside and the sun is out, I don't want to look into the sun. These are Oakley Holbrooks. I've had these for years now. These have held up super well. They are starting to show their wear over, a little bit. The arms are getting a little loose and stuff. But the amount of abuse these things have handled, I have had to replace some parts over time. I've replaced the lenses and I have replaced one of the arms, but those are pretty easy to get and pretty affordable. But overall, these are very nice sunglasses. I highly recommend them. They're very nice. They're all pretty much all polymer, but in a good way, very durable. And Oakley is obviously a very reliable brand, but I do recommend carrying some sunglasses with you every single day. All right, so now what everyone wants to see, the gun I carry with me every single day. And this has changed over the years. I haven't carried the same gun all through my time of concealed carrying. However, this is one of the first guns I ever concealed carry and the gun I've carried the longest. This is my Glock 19 Gen 3. This was my first Glock, my second carry gun, my first gun being a CZ-P07, and that only lasted for a little bit. And then I got this guy, and then I carried this guy nonstop, religiously, shot this thing so much that I've had to replace so many parts on it. This thing has been an absolute reliability monster. It works no matter what. Yeah, obviously had to replace parts on it, but that's just wear and tear. But it's a Glock at the end of the day, and I know it's gonna work. A lot of you might be asking, why is there not an optic on this gun? Well, the simple thing is, this gun is kind of just a placeholder for now. I was carrying my Glock 48, which has an optic, in the Raven Concealment Executive Select holster, which is a very cool holster, and I highly recommend it, but I was tired of no longer having a weapon light. The Executive Select does not accommodate weapon lights. It does not at the moment. It is something supposedly Raven is working on, but it's been a while. This does accommodate a weapon light, being a Tier 1 Concealed Axis Elite, and I have the TLR7 HLX, which is a 1000 lumen, rather high output light for being a slim little concealed carry light. I love this little light. This thing is fantastic. The reason I'm carrying this Glock 19 though, when I do have other options, is my other option is a Shadow Systems MR920. And if you saw my update video on the Shadow Systems MR920, you know I no longer carry it due to some reliability issues. I'd much rather have a perfectly reliable gun with no optic than a questionably reliable gun with one. Now, on the Axis Elite here, I have discrete carry concept clips, which I think are fantastic. These are the best clips out there for a holster. I also have this, which is the Fife Loop from 100 Concepts. Essentially, if you're training with your gun and you don't want to lose your one round in the chamber, it'll go in this little loop here, which I think is useful. Kind of expensive. Most of their stuff is, I think, a little overpriced, but I do like having that here. And then I have my spare magazine. This is a Glock 17 magazine with an Arredondo base pad. No point in carrying a Glock 19 magazine as my spare magazine because I don't need to conceal my magazine in the gun. Obviously, I have a Glock 19 magazine in the gun to make that grip just a little bit shorter, but I want to have as much ammo as possible with me. I know so many people like Active Self-Protection say there's no need for a reload, you don't need that much ammo. Well, you don't know what I'm going to need. I have no idea what situation I'm going to encounter. I think it is hypocritical to guess and assume and rely on statistics that will save you in a concealed carry encounter when the chances that you'll even need your firearm are so slim, yet we carry one. If you want to see more on my opinions on that, you can check out my video up here on the hypocrisy of concealed carry. But at the end of the day, I want to carry as much ammunition with me as possible that is reasonable, and I find the sidecar style holsters are very comfortable anyways because it helps balance out the gun by having that magazine, and it fills the front of the pants a little bit better and actually helps with concealment. And the Tier 1 Concealed Axis Elite is, in my opinion, the best Kydex concealed carry holster on the market today. There's other good brands like Tenacor, like TXC, obviously Raven Concealment, like I mentioned earlier, but I think Tier 1 is just the best currently on the market. I also have their wedge right here. I used to be kind of anti-wedge, but I've grown to like these because it tilts the gun into the body more and helps conceal, and it does add some comfort down here where the weapon light and the end of the muzzle does tend to dig into your groin a little bit. So overall, this is a really great setup. Funny enough, this is the exact same gun that I was carrying 3 years ago when I did an EDC breakdown with Nightwood Guns. But this gun is simply by chance the one I'm carrying. I do intend to get a Gen 6 19. The only reason I don't have a Gen 6 19, or I'm not carrying a Gen 6 19 at the moment, is the optic system of the Gen 6 is its weak point. The optic can lose zero because the plates don't hold the optic in place perfectly. So as soon as there are some good aftermarket companies with Gen 6 plates, I will be getting a Gen 6 19 and be running that as my new EDC. The last thing that I use every single day is a belt. It does not matter what cool gun you have, what nice holster you have. If you don't have a good belt that can hold the weight and help conceal the gun well, it doesn't really matter. This is the Alterations Limited Stretch Belt. Unfortunately, you cannot currently buy one. There is some talks of this coming back to the market, and in my opinion, this is my favorite and the best EDC belt I've ever used. But unfortunately, you can't buy one. So if you want to get an EDC belt and you want a good one, this is the one I currently recommend, and that's the Egitech Defense EDC belt. This thing is really nice. It's also very affordable. Now, right now, I know he is selling out constantly of this belt and raised the price because of it, but even then, it's still a steal. This belt is similar to the Alterations Limited belt, where it is a stretchy belt all around, except this belt is not stretchy all around. It is stretchy in the back and stiff in the front to hold the weight of the gun. This is great for heavier guns, like if you're running a 2011 or something like that, or a steel frame gun, or even a full-size gun, or this is great if you just want your gun to not be moving around. To me, this is the second best EDC belt on the market today, and the best one that you can actually buy. It uses a G-hook, so it's really simple to put on and off, and the adjustment's really simple as well. So I think this is a really solid contender, since currently you cannot get the Alterations Limited belt, or if you just want something that can hold the weight just a little bit better, but compromises that comfort just a little bit. I will be doing a full video on this belt coming soon, putting it through its paces, testing out some different variants of it that I have, but stay tuned for that. So about 99% of the time I am carrying appendix carry inside the waistband, but occasionally I don't carry inside the waistband for whatever reason, whether I'm working out or just some other context where inside the waistband wouldn't work. For that, I generally carry with the Tight Shoots Voyager XL. I previously did a review on Tight Shoots fanny pack, so you can check out up here, but this is their new Voyager XL Magnum. This thing is fantastic. It is enormous. It fits so much stuff. I can not only fit my gun here on their Mars magnetic holster system, but I can also fit spare magazines on the Velcro here. So I can fit 3 magazines and a gun in here if I really want to. I generally just carry the 1 magazine, but I also have tons of space and zipper pouches, both in the front and the back. This thing has a polymer Cobra buckle, so no one is going to be taking this off you unless they release that buckle. And when it's under tension, you can't release it, so this thing is staying on you no problem. It's not going to be like a purse that gets ripped off you that's carrying your gun in it. So this is probably the best fanny pack out there in my opinion. I don't recommend any other companies for fanny packs, with one exception that I'll get to for concealed carry. I don't carry like this every single day, but when I do carry with a fanny pack or I can't carry inside the waistband, this is what I'm using. The only other fanny pack I recommend is this guy from Fifth, I want to say, or Fifth. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is a very cool company. I think it's just one guy, a SWAT dude out of Florida, but he's been working on all sorts of really cool designs of products that you want to own and he wants to make. This fanny pack here is unique because it's waterproof. You seal this up, you zip it up. It's a little bit harder to zip up than your standard fanny pack because it's waterproof, but once it's sealed up, this air is locked in there, right? It's essentially a floaty if you want it to be, but what it is sealed tight for your gun, or also in this pocket right here, you can put your phone, your wallet, your keys, stuff like that. So whether you're having a beach day or you're going out on the river or the ocean, this is really great because you can keep your gun completely waterproof, completely watertight. You're not going to get any water or moisture in there, which obviously is not going to be good for the metals of your gun or its internal function. So if I'm going somewhere that is going to involve me getting in the water or potentially getting wet, this is a really great option and I highly recommend it. The last thing that I'll occasionally carry is a knife from Black Triangle. This is for those truly non-permissive environments where I cannot bring a firearm in due to metal detectors, laws, whatever it may be. This is for those situations where I might need to carry something else. Now, of course, look at your local laws and ordinances. I don't want anyone getting in trouble. But if you can carry this and it's simply a situation that does not allow firearms, well, this might be a good option because this is a little bit bigger and a little more usable than the wallet knife that comes in the Haley Strategic Incog wallet, and it's carried inside the waistband. So since you're not going to have your firearm, this is a good alternative. Now, when it comes to a belt, I highly recommend carrying a non-metallic belt so nothing is flagged on your waistband. You got to pull your shirt up because obviously you'll be giving yourself away if you have one of these. This is the Concert Companion, which was a collaboration between Black Triangle and Alterations Limited. Also a belt you can't currently get, but if the Alterations Limited belts do come back, then you will be able to get this guy again, I'm sure. And this is essentially the stretch belt, but it has a polymer buckle, so that way you're not setting off metal detectors or anything like that. I have worn this thing through TSA, not had to take it off as well, so just a great belt for traveling. But like I said, if you're one of those areas where you can't carry a firearm for whatever reason, but, you know, following all the laws and all that important stuff, you can carry something else. This is a really great combo that I carry maybe about 1% of the time. All right, guys, so that was my EDC. That was what I carry every single day, and not just some BS of, oh, well, I carry it every day, but actually just for this video, and really every day I carry a gun in my pocket, or I don't carry a gun at all. No, what I just showed you is what I carry every single day. If you liked the video, go leave a like down below. If you dislike the video, if you think that concealed carry is stupid and that if you are preparing for the worst, then you're just dumb, well, there's a dislike button for a reason. Otherwise, guys, head in the comments. What do you carry every single day? I'm curious to see. Also, is there another video that you want to see, another setup of mine that you want to see? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, I'm releasing new videos every Saturday. Subscribe and stay tuned.